David Gergen passed away this summer. He had worked for both Democratic and Republican administrations, was considered a go-to for a very balanced, measured approach to governance. He was a mentor to our next guest when he founded a group called Honor Action. He was the model of bipartisanship, a lot of people said. Barcott is the co-founder CEO of With Honor Action, served in the Marine Corps 2001 through 2006, and he is joining us. You find him at Barcott. Ry, welcome. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me on.
My son, by the way, fellow Marine of yours, he served 99 to 2003, I think. So thank you for your service.
Indeed. Fidelis, it's our 250th birthday coming up this November 10th, and we're looking forward to bringing a bipartisan delegation to celebrate that in Philadelphia near the future rebuild of Ton Tavern, which is the birthplace of the Marine Corps.
And you don't even look a day over 200, so congratulations. Well done.
That's right.
Hey, talk about, I know that I was reading up on your acquaintance with David Gergen because he was a teacher of yours. You graduated from Harvard Kennedy School in 2009, and then you started your nonprofit. He became a co-founder, and then he became a friend. Talk about what I guess you two shared in common and what you're trying to do with that legacy relationship now.
Thank you so much. David passed away from a long bout with Lewy body dementia about 2 months ago. We will be honoring him at the With Honor biennial gala for the bipartisan veterans in Congress this October 8th. We're renaming our Lifetime Service Award in his name, and we're giving it to Leon and Sylvia Panetta, who were great, paragons of public service and friends of David. I took some time after before he passed. A colleague reached out and asked if I would, share some lessons learned from David, and so I started writing a piece which we posted at With Honor, which are 5 life lessons from David. And I decided to write that while he was still alive, so it was able to the most serious phase of the dementia really set in. And I think about the last one in particular, the last lesson, which is one that he would just come back to in almost every conversation. And as listeners would recall from having listened to him for decades, is one of the few bipartisan voices of reason each night observing the news. And that is really a call to serve, and that at our core, service makes leaders better. It makes our country better. Right now, less than 2% of Americans serve in either the military or in civilian service. And that's something that we are trying to improve at With Honor by working with veterans in Congress who work across party lines, even in this very polarized and difficult time to do so.
As somebody who enjoys bringing history to our audience occasionally, I enjoyed rule number 3 or lesson number 3, the past informs the future. But I also like this one, lesson 2, you can't influence every audience, which I think is something that's a lesson we could all take.
Yeah. It is a hilarious story that a lot of students of David's like to tell on this one that I relayed, which goes back to a reunion that we had. He had built a fellowship program at the Harvard Kennedy School that was focused on providing an opportunity to earn an education for veterans and also those that had served in civilian ways, social entrepreneurs. And so we have this reunion, and it kicks off, and it's at the New England Aquarium, and there are these penguins that are around, and the penguins are aroused by his voice. So they start honking every time David Gergen starts talking. And at first he's sort of joking around and thinks, okay, well, they'll stop talking. But the more that he talks, the more aroused they become. And so finally he throws up his arms and says, let's have a good night. This is a tough audience. So, but he was a master communicator, and he thought a lot about, how to package big complex ideas, going back to when he was Ronald Reagan's campaign, head of communications for both the campaign and the presidency, and package ideas in a way that people could hear them, but then also really speak the truth, so that it's not just a spin session. It's getting at an underlying truth in the world, and I think that's something that we obviously in this day and age of culture wars and social media can also often get distorted.
Ry Barcott is with us, co-founder and CEO of With Honor Action. We're talking about the late David Gergen. Even he couldn't sell the Penguins on what he was selling. I'm wondering, we only have about a minute or two left, and I just wanted to quickly touch on something that I think in some ways he had the advantage of people still having confidence in some of our institutions. It seems now that has eroded. How do you get that confidence back? Because institutional functionality is an important part of our democracy.
Yeah, our focus at With Honor is really trying to fight the polarization in Congress, specifically by helping to elect and then support this group of principled veterans that work across party lines, one of the few bipartisan groups around, and there are about 50 members of Congress that are part of this. But Congress is actually the least trusted of all the public institutions. Gallup does a survey every year that not too long ago actually ranked Congress beneath used car salesmen. And so we do have a crisis in institutions. One of the few groups that still has trust across party line are veterans. And Gallup is actually adding a measure of veteran trust this year. We'll announce that at our gala on October 8th, where we also honor David Gergen in his life and give this award to Secretary Leon Panetta and his wife Sylvia. But this is one of the reasons why service matters. We need more Americans serving both in the military and in civilian forms, and it's a key legislative objective that we work on it With Honor with the veterans in Congress.
For this event and for other parts of the mission, what's your website, Ry?
Oh, thanks so much. It's withhonor.org, and we would love to have your listeners tune in and participate with our organization.
We appreciate you spending time with us on POTUS today. Thanks so much.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Ry Barcott, co-founder, CEO of With Honor Action. As you told you, withhonor.org is the website. You can find him also at Ry Barcott at RYEBARCOTT.